Doesn't a vacation on a sandy beach sound fantastic? The warmth of the sun feels so good. But before your next vacation, I have some things for you to consider. I'm Catherine. Welcome to the Inspired Vitality Show. July is UV Safety Awareness Month, which serves as a reminder of the connection between ultraviolet or UV light and cancers of the skin, eye, and lip, and to educate people about the effective UV protections available. In this video, I'm going to explain the UV index, the types of UV rays, and dive into sun protection for the skin and the eyes. Now, many people are aware about the effects of the sun, but I think you'll pick up some information and tips that maybe you don't know, so stick with me. Ultraviolet light, or UV rays, are an invisible kind of radiation that come from the sun and man-made sources like tanning beds and welding torches. Radiation is the emission or sending out of energy that can range from the high energy of X-rays to the very low energy of radio waves. The UV rays are in the middle of this spectrum. The radiation can penetrate and change skin cells, causing cancer. UV radiation is divided into three main groups. UVA rays have the least energy among the UV rays. UVA rays are mainly linked to long-term skin damage, such as wrinkles, but they are also thought to play a role in some skin cancers. UVB rays have a slightly more energy than UVA rays and are the main rays that cause sunburns. They're also thought to cause most skin cancers. UVC rays have more energy than the other types of UV rays. Fortunately, because of this, they react with the ozone high in the atmosphere and don't reach the ground, so they are not normally a risk factor for skin cancer. But UVC rays can also come from some man-made sources such as welding torches, mercury lamps, and UV sanitizing bulbs used to kill bacteria and other germs. Sunlight is the main source of UV radiation, and most skin cancers are a result of exposure to the UV rays in sunlight. The amount of UV exposure a person gets depends on the strength of the rays, the length of time the skin is exposed, and whether the skin is protected with clothing or sunscreen. The most common types of skin cancer tend to be found on sun-exposed parts of the body, and their occurrence is typically related to a lifetime sun exposure. In addition to skin cancer, exposure to UV rays can cause other health problems. UV rays can also cause eye problems and can also weaken the immune system so that the body has a harder time fending off infections. Some people are more sensitive to the damaging effects of UV radiation. Some medications can also make you more sensitive to UV radiation, making you more likely to get sunburn. And certain medical conditions can be made worse by UV radiation. Now, oftentimes people say that they're going to go get their vitamin D when they're going out into the sun. It's important to note vitamin D has many health benefits. It might even help lower the risk for some cancers. Your skin makes vitamin D naturally when you're in the sun. How much vitamin D you need or make rather, depends on many things, including how old you are, how dark your skin is, and how strong the sunlight is where you live. At this time, doctors aren't sure what the optimal level of vitamin D is. A lot of research is being done in this area. Whenever possible, it is recommended and better to get vitamin D from your diet or a vitamin supplement rather than sun exposure, because dietary sources and supplements do not increase skin cancer risk and are typically more reliable to get the amount that you need. The UV index is a vehicle to raise public awareness of the risks of excessive exposure to UV radiation and to alert people about the need to adopt protective measures. As part of an international effort, the UV index was developed by the World Health Organization, the United Nations Environmental Program, and the World Meteorological Organization. Encouraging people to reduce their sun exposure can decrease harmful effects and significantly reduce healthcare costs. The UVI measures the level of UV radiation, and the values of the UV index range from 0 on up. The higher the UVI, the greater the potential for damage to the skin and eye, and the less time it takes for the harm to occur. The levels of UV radiation, and therefore the values of the index, vary throughout the day, and in reporting the UVI, most emphasis is placed on the maximum UV level on a given day. This typically occurs in the 4-hour period around the solar noon, depending on geographical location, typically between noon and 2 p.m. The media usually presents a forecast of the maximum UV level for the following day to provide individuals with the potential danger of sun exposure. The World Health Organization has a UV index chart that I am going to link to in the video description, and it lays out the recommended sun protection at the various levels. So for example, with a UV index of 0 to 2, you can safely enjoy being outside. In the 3 to 7 range, you should seek shade during midday hours, slip on a shirt, slap on sunscreen, and slap on a hat. And then at 8, the index says to avoid being outside during midday hours, make sure you seek shade and put on a shirt, sunscreen, and hat are a must. If sun protection is required, this should include all protective means, including clothing, sunglasses, shade, and sunscreen. So, simple, everyday steps that you can take to safeguard your skin from the harmful effects of UV radiation from the sun, including wearing proper clothing, and this can include long sleeve shirts and pants, and protecting your head and eyes with a hat and UV resistant sunglasses. You want to avoid sunburns because this can significantly increase one's lifetime risk of developing skin cancer. Shade is important. Stay out of the sun if possible between the peak burning hours. And use extra caution when near reflective surfaces like that wonderful beach, the water and the sand, or in the wintertime, the snow. And those reflective areas can create the damaging, or can increase rather, the chance of sunburn. Use extra caution when at higher altitudes, and be sure to apply a broad spectrum sunscreen. It is recommended that you use an SPF of value or higher, and do reapply that sunscreen throughout the day. Specifically for the eyes, it is recommended that you don't focus on the color or darkness of the sunglasses, rather select sunglasses that block UV rays, being sure to check for 100% UV protection. It is also recommended that you choose wraparound styles and wear a hat in addition to your sunglasses. Don't be fooled by the clouds because the sun's rays can pass through the haze and thin clouds. Sun damage to the eyes can occur anytime during the year. It's especially important to wear sunglasses in the early afternoon and at higher altitudes where UV light is more intense. Never look directly at the sun, and don't forget the kids. Vacations are wonderful. They're fantastic, but be smart and follow the UV index. Use sun protection to reduce your risk of skin and eye cancer. I hope this has been helpful. I'm going to be sure to link to various resources in the description. Let me know in the comments if you like this content, and be sure to subscribe to my channel to get more of this valuable information. See you soon.